Alright, welcome. If you press this video, you're probably here for this build. First, I will start with a weapon choice. Actually, you know what? Let's do it the easiest way, and we'll start with skills. This is what I've chosen. Gunlust, Rampage, a little bit into Brawn. I'll go through each skill and kind of explain why I have it, you know, what it's used for, what I found it helps the best. This build is really nothing specific in terms of weapons. You can kind of use whatever you want. I do use, especially for OP10, you know, the Grog Nozzle, Unkempt Herald, obviously. I'm a Gunzerker, you know what I mean? Like, that's just like one of the most common kind of weapons you see. I also use the Pimpernel Ahab, like the swap with the Pimpernel, you know, as everyone else does. If you don't know about that, I can make a separate video on that, but most people know what that is. But to start with Gunlust, I'm going with Locked and Loaded just for the fire rate, because you know you reload, you get increased fire rate, and it just keeps kind of just by the time I shoot my entire mag and reload, the fire rate lasts throughout the entire mag, and even then some, and then I'll reload it. So it's just unlimited 20% fire, 25% fire rate, basically all times. It works with, I'm pretty sure, everything. This video is not going to be some super detailed craziness as in like stats for everything, because I'm not sure what really affects what sometimes, you know what I mean? It seems to depend. We got this one called Quick Draw, which increases weapon swap speed and critical damage with all gun types, which is kind of nice. You get that 35% weapon swap speed. This is nice if you're like doing something with like Unkempt Herald and Grog Nozzle, and then you can switch to your Ahab and Pimpernel to melt like a massive boss, which you'll see in a video I'll have up before this one, which I was running through Digi with a random guy I just happened to find who just needed help getting OP7, I believe it was. I've done a couple there for him. I'll end up getting him to 10. But it gives you crit damage, which is, you know, a fucking no-brainer, and then weapon swap speed, which does help out. It's just not like a needed perk, but it's just nice to have. Then we have I'm your Huckleberry, which increases gun damage and reload speed with pistols. So obviously hand in hand with Grog Nozzle and Unkempt Herald. You get that reload speed and you get that damage. It's just, you know, you gotta have that. You could have gotten all I need is one, like swap them as a cause your next shot to do additional damage. Honestly, if you're not like swapping back and forth constantly, there's not really a need for this, and I'm not constantly switching back and forth, so I didn't find I needed this too often. I tried it a couple times. It does work good, but you know, I'd rather have just a flat 50% at all times and not have to worry about switching constantly. We have this is an important one, Money Shot. This is actually glitched. It says 880% damage, but it's really about 1270, I want to say, with 11 and a 5 in it. So about 1270. I don't know why it's glitched. I don't know why it doesn't say it, but it's the last round fire free magazine. It basically wrecks everything. Like, you know, you're gonna shoot this at an enemy. You'll see me do this with Unkempt Herald. You hear a lot of money shots go off. You can actually get it to chain pretty well with a couple other perks. I'll tell you about it after, but yeah, it wrecks stuff. So yeah, just always get that one. Always get that one. And it works with all weapon types. They say, and it says all. I'm not sure about rockets. Like, it makes the sound with rockets. I don't know if you actually get the increased damage with rockets. I've never tested that. But, yeah. And we have Autoloader, which is killing an enemy, instantly reloads all guns you have equipped, and the ones that are not currently in your hands. And if you swap after that, you get Locked and Loaded, which is, you know, awesome. So it just kind of gives you like a free Locked and Loaded stack. We have Lay Waste, which is a kill skill. Killing an enemy increases rate of fire and crit damage with all weapons for a short while. I don't know how long it is exactly, but this plays in beautifully with both of these. So those three go really well together. We have down, not out. You can Gunzerker and fight for your life. I thought this was amazing, just in case you accidentally like down yourself somehow. Like for me, I always end up stepping on one of my grenades and I kill myself. So it's nice having the extra firepower and ability to slag an enemy, and then you know just instantly shred that enemy. You don't need this either. You could have technically put one into really any of the other ones. I don't like this either, Divergent like this, because I'm never Gunzerking with two identical weapons. And I know it's not supposed to be technically identical. They have to be the same foundry. But in some cases, it's just you don't get the bonus to your left hand, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's only to the right hand. So screw that. I don't run that perk. Then we have Acute Piping Hot. When Gunzerking is in the process of cooling down, which is like almost all the time, you gain bonus gun damage, melee damage, and grenade damage. And I'm always using my grenades, and I'm always using my guns. So that 25% makes a difference. And you'll notice a lot, like the more I kill, the more I get back for Gunzerk duration. So it's like as I'm cooling it down, which is always usually during when I'm fighting, I have that damage increase. And we got this one, no kill like overkill. After killing an enemy, it grants bonus damage to your next shot equal to the amount of excess damage you dealt to the enemy. So say I fire a money shot round into an enemy, 1270% damage on that money shot from like my sniper with Paper Ahab or like with my Unkempt Herald. This thing will give you a bonus on top of that, and it will destroy everything. This is such a good perk. Such a good perk. Recommend that. And that's it for Gunlust. Again, feel free to change it up, but if you're gonna make this build, try it out. Like, do try it out. It's really not too hard to make. I'm not gonna lie. It's really not that bad. For Rampage, we have Inconceivable. So shot. This plays good with the Rough Rider shield. I'll go over all my stuff here in a minute. Your shots have a chance not to consume ammo. The lower your health and shields, the greater the chance to free shots, up to 50%. So this is amazing. I pair this with a relic that I'll go over in a few minutes as well, and you just go crazy. And it also plays into the money shot because you're constantly like low. Then we have all in the reflexes, increases reload and melee damage. I don't really care about the melee damage. I just wanted that reload speed. For me, that's super important. I did not do fill to the brim. I used to run this, but it increases your magazine size with all weapon types. It increases your ammo carrying capacity. It's good if you're like running shotguns and stuff. But for me, I found it just took longer to get money shot, and I want money shot. So having more ammo takes longer to get to the money shot. So I didn't like this. Increases this is last longer. Increases the duration of Gunzerking by 15 seconds. This is amazing. Yeah, you're gonna want this. And it pairs well with this as well, but I didn't find I needed this ever due to just what I'm using. Increases the cooldown rate of your Gunzerking ability. I didn't want to increase the cooldown rate of it because I wanted that 25% damage to last a little bit longer. I'm gonna get it back anyway, so what's the point of getting it back super fast if I'm still Gunzerking? So I would just lose out. I would just lose out on that little bit of damage. So I didn't run with that. I didn't find I needed recoil reduction. This only works with the right hand as well, so I didn't run this. Steady as she goes. You don't need it. You really don't need it. It's kind of useless perk. Five shots or 6. It's a kill skill. Killing an enemy causes every shot fired to have a chance to add ammunition to the magazine instead of expending it. This, I used to use all the time when I ran an interfacer build. That's one of the shotguns. I used to run that, and this would work great. But I don't find I need this anymore. And I'm not sure, but I believe that it cancels out money shots by adding into the mag and then going back lower again. So I'm not 100% sure. But I don't run this anymore. I don't find you need it. Clearly, I haven't never needed it. You know what I mean? With this build I have on now. We have Yippee-Ki-Yay, which is killing an enemy while Gunzerking. Increases the amount of time you can Gunzerk. 3 seconds each time I kill an enemy. And I'm usually killing an enemy about every 3 seconds. So I have it up all the time. And if I don't have it, it's very little time that I don't. Double your fun. Throwing a grenade while Gunzerking causes you to throw 2 grenades. This is awesome because I run the Shock Stormfront. So that's just like AoE. This is AoE everywhere. Just arc. Or not arc, sorry. That's a Destiny thing I just said. Shock grenades. And those things will wreck planets. I'll show you that after this. So having 2 of them for the price of 1, no brainer. We have Get Some. Shooting an enemy decreases your Gunzerking cooldown. This effect can occur once every 3 seconds. Now it takes 3 seconds off per shot every 3 seconds. So do the math, you get it back quick as hell if you're using something or hitting a lot of enemies really fast. Like this even procs on bosses and things. This one's awesome. I don't find I use this too much now. Definitely helps out, but well, maybe I do. I guess. Keep firing. So it's while Gunzerking, the longer you hold down the trigger, the faster your guns fire and the faster you reload. Now this works great for like bosses and stuff. Other than that, though, I find I kill everything pretty quick that I don't really get to keep firing perk to proc too often. It also depends on what weapon you're using, I guess. Like if you're using like a infinity pistol or something that has a hell of a lot of rounds in it, I'm sure it works great. But using Unkempt Herald, I don't find I'm shooting a target long enough for this to really proc, unless it's like a boss. But still really good to have regardless. And I went a little bit into Brawn. I didn't actually do the health regen, but I did taking damage from enemies increases your movement speed and reload speed. 25% reload speed on top of the other buffs is nice, and that 30% movement speed is nice as well. And I wanted this as well, Asbestos, which reduces the duration of enemy elemental effects on you. In like OP10, there's a lot of enemy elemental effects. So having 80% like effect negative duration on that is awesome. It's awesome. So basically, like I don't die too often to elements on me or anything. And this one, 35% fire rate. Increases fire rate with all gun types while your shields are depleted. My shields are always depleted, and now I can go over why that is. This shield here. the Rough Rider. So it gives you a massive amount of health, like total max health, and you get a lot of damage reduction, which is awesome as well, but you have no capacity. So that allows me to constantly have this going and this going, like at all times, which gets pretty crazy. I guess you can. You see, I don't even use the keep firing too often now, but get this thing going long enough, man, you'll start going crazy with it. And this will just shred everything. Anyway, that's the reasoning for that. So I got the Unkept Herald, Double Penetrating Unkept Herald, and the Grog Nozzle. And I got the Ahab, because it's like the highest base damage rocket that you can get, I believe, even still. And then I'm repairing that with Pimpernel. It's just a repair. You know, it allows you to get those money shots I was talking about. Oh, back here. Right here. So you always want the Pimpernel in your left hand and the rocket in your right hand with no ammo. And every time you shoot it, as you hear, those are all money shots. So each one of these rounds are doing that 1200% damage. So this thing just shreds. And it also goes off the fire rate, goes off that added damage. You can even get the final round money shot after that, which will really chunk a target, which is awesome. I run that with a Stormfront that I was talking about here. Just a legendary Stormfront, shock Stormfront, hell of a lot of damage. I throw 2 at once, and I like to run. Unlike any other people any other videos I've ever seen of people using this, is they always use Sheriff's Badge. I find I run out of ammo too fast with this, and you don't need that extra fire rate. You really don't. You really don't. So I run, instead of that little bit of 24% damage, I find I run the extra shot chance, and it just shreds stuff. So 42% chance to fire an extra round. That works in anything I use too, but it works great with this thing. That's what I love about it. And also, it'll empty your mag quick as hell, but you'll do some crazy damage. And sometimes you'll get like crazy long like magazine duration here. Yeah, I could just keep showing you that all day, but it's not gonna happen. And I also run the Chaotic Evil Monk, so you get that 54% critical damage, and that's just against anything. It's another 30% fire rate, plus 6 to money shot, and very important, plus 5 to asbestos. Those are the 2 reasons I ran, especially asbestos. It's just nice having that effect durations for OP8 or OP8 all the way up to 10 even. 7 you don't really need it, but past those I find it helps a hell of a lot. You can run other weapons too. I got a whole bunch of this kind of random stuff here, but you don't really need anything else. Yeah, totally need skin. And you can run it with a shield as well. There is no need. This is really all you need. I've used this build for a while. I've made different builds on the Gunzerker very similar to this for like years and years and years, since like 2000, I want to say 12, and this is the best I've ever come up with. I've seen other videos on YouTube detailing it, you know, way better than I just have, but this is like a kind of just little rundown, kind of explaining why I have what I'm using. And yeah, any questions, just feel free to leave it in the comments. And yeah, have a good day, guys.